All right, setting it up. Nope, that's not it. Ooh, there we are. Okay, what's up, everyone? Happy Saturday, August 2nd of 2025. If you are watching this right now, we're live. And my hope is that you're having a great weekend wherever you are. And if you watch this later on, I hope that you find some value from the content of today's talk. For those of you who have never been here before, my name is Param, and we do this pretty much most Saturdays of the year. I used to say every Saturday of the year, but you know what happened later on was I fell in love with this thing called pickleball, and unfortunately, sometimes it takes me away from my ultimate goal of doing this on a weekly basis. But you know what? In life, we have to practice balance, and sometimes a little bit of pickleball on a Saturday is needed. So, let me do an introduction. Param, I have a master's degree in marriage and family therapy. I'm licensed as an advanced alcohol and drug counselor, whatever that means. I've been in and around the recovery space since June 13th of 2008. So 17 years, and really grateful for that in my life. And let's see, I teach college classes at Saddleback Community College. I also coach high school basketball at Aliso Miguel High School. So my hope is that my personal background, my professional background, my expertise, skill set, all that kind of stuff is enough to create the platform for me to be able to teach something of value to you today. And real quick, I need to go grab my charger for my laptop, or else it's going to die on you. So just give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for being here. And let's see. That's a nice background. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about something that's pretty interesting. And that topic is going to be the voice that keeps you stuck. So what the heck is this guy talking about, and how is that going to help you? So all of the talks that we do on this channel, on this station, if you will, they are dedicated to one thing and one thing only. And that is the possibility of human transformation. So transformation means to go from one version of self to another version of self. It is by default the definition of not being stuck in the same place. So how are we going to go about this? Is I want you to all think that we have an internal dialogue, an internal voice that wants to keep us stuck, that wants to keep us somewhere familiar, that wants to keep us from achieving our goals, even if it's completely against what our internal thoughts, desires are. And so today we are going to recognize that voice, really understand what it is and why it's there. And then we're going to learn about the kind of the job that it has, and the purpose of it, and when it was created and why it was created. And lastly, the best part, how the heck do you overcome this voice to be able to transform, to be able to achieve your goals and all that kind of stuff. So if there are any questions, comments at any point, this is a live talk, so you can ask whatever you need to ask. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first part is, how do you recognize this voice? So what is that voice? And I'm not talking about individuals that hear voices that aren't there. And I'm not talking about delusions, mental illness. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a regular old human being like you and I, and even little puppies over there. There's a voice inside of our head, this narrative, this chatter that happens. And it says something like this, like, you know what? You can skip this. You can, what's the point of trying? You're never going to change, right? You're not worthy of love. You're not worthy of happiness. Well, why not sleep a few extra hours? Why not eat that meal over there? Why not take that substance? Why not spend that money? And we all have that. So I want you to know that is not your truth. That voice system is not the truth. It really isn't. It's actually a protection system. So not only is it not the truth, it is there for protection. And it was developed at a time in your life that you were going through some difficulties, potentially some trauma, some addiction, some loss, and some shame, and it shapes it all. So it's nothing we're born with. It really isn't. It's nothing we're born with. Like people around us, society, things that happen, they start to create this inner dialogue in our head. And like some of those things are, hey, it's not going to work for me. For example, people come try to change their lives around in the substance abuse world, or family members of people that are struggling with addictions. And you tell them to go to therapy or journal, or you tell them to go to meetings, and they say, you know what? I'm sure this stuff works for some people, but it's not going to work for me. Right? There's some people you tell them, hey, go read that book. There's some really good information in it. No, that's not going to work for me. Okay. Sometimes people say, well, people like me don't change. One of the things that I can't stand when human beings say is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, you know what? Maybe the trainer's not good enough, because I've seen human beings of various stages and ages and times of development be able to learn new tricks. The voice that says, hey, I can't do it, I'm too old, or blah, 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 that kind of stuff like that. That's that voice we're talking about. That's the thing that's trying to keep you stuck in the same familiar place. And the most important one that people say, I'll start next week, or I'll start tomorrow. So I know for myself, before I kind of learned this whole personal development stuff and how to change things in my life, one of those things being my relationship with substances, I used to say everything was going to happen tomorrow. I'll call financial aid tomorrow. I'll email that person tomorrow. I'll stop drinking alcohol tomorrow. I'll go to the gym tomorrow. I'll call that creditor tomorrow. Whatever it was, everything was tomorrow. The voice would tell me that. And when tomorrow came, guess what the voice did? Man, it's so powerful. It says, hey, do it tomorrow. I said, oh, you're right. I'll do it tomorrow. And if you live for that, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, what is the dilemma here? Well, in tomorrow land or next week land, there isn't some like new motivation, untapped source of fuel and motivation that you can't tap into right now that's going to exist there, that all of a sudden you can do all the things you're not doing today. Like if you're not doing it today, you ain't going to do it tomorrow. Now, the only exclusion is if whatever you need to do today is on a Sunday and it's closed and the Monday is the only day it's open. It's like, hey, I couldn't go to the bank on Sunday. I had to go tomorrow. Okay, I get that. But everything outside of a place that's closed, if you don't do today, you're not going to do tomorrow. Some of the things that people say is, I'm too tired. Well, man, do you really think the people that you hope to be one day, the ones that are happy with their families, the ones that are living a job that they enjoy, the ones that are in physical shape that you want to be like, the ones that are doing things out in the community and being of service to those other, you don't think they're tired? You don't think they're too tired? See, our illusion tells us, what is it, Benny? I got the guard dog there. Benny, what is it, Benny? You tell them what to do. Yep, break it down, baby. Okay, that's good. Okay, come back over here. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Little dogs, they protect the house. Can't do anything about it. So, Butter, tell Benny to be quiet. Benny, come here. All right. So, show something about my parenting skills here, but in my defense, I haven't seen Benny in a while. He's coming back. Look at him, all innocent. Quiet. Calm. Sit. Okay, back to class. So, that voice in the head that says you're too tired, right? No, you're not. It's either you are not prioritizing, you're not focusing on the transformation, the change, because you know that everything you want is outside your comfort zone. You know that in order to get what it is you don't already have, you have to do things that you're currently not doing. And that always happens after the point of fatigue and tiredness. Now, here's the thing. Am I telling you to be tired at all times with everything you do? Absolutely not. I'm a big fan of self-care. I'm a big fan of sleep. I'm a big fan of recovery. You got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because the things that you want to achieve will be tiring. Like changing lifelong patterns of internal dialogue is not easy. If it was, then nobody would be even interested in this talk, because they say, oh, I don't have an inner voice. But we all do, including myself, that says we're not good enough, we're not blank enough, we're not this enough, we're not that enough. So some people say they're too broken. Like, it's too far gone. They're too far gone. No, you're not. That's the voice. What does too far gone mean anyways? We have clients sometimes say they've been using drugs for 10 years and their brain's so far gone. No, it's not. There's something called brain plasticity. Go look at ChatGPT or YouTube or Google, or the newer ones. Go, I don't know, watch a 7-second video on TikTok that says brain plasticity means your brain regenerates every few years and the neurotransmitters start to fire back up and they start to get healthy again. There you go. It exists. It's real. Science backs it up. You're not broken. You're not too broken. We all have scars. We have all experienced stuff in life. I mean, some of us have it worse at some points in life, and some of us have it worse at some other points in life. If we're on a long enough timeline, we all go through it. We all do. So the takeaway from this first part about the voice is, just because it's familiar to you doesn't mean it's true. Just because the voice has been saying the same stuff to you since the time you're little you doesn't mean that there's truth to it. So number 2 is, let's break it down and understand its job and the limits it has. So just remember that voice, at some point in your life, it helped you survive, not thrive. So if right now in your life you're trying to thrive, you're trying to do things that you have been wanting to do for a while and you haven't done, you can't listen to that voice anymore. The best analogy I have, actually, that goes really well with what we just saw with little Benny just barking away, is that voice is like a overprotective guard dog. Okay, I want you to think of an overprotective guard dog like you just saw. It barks at anything new. So as soon as you try to do something new in your life, a new diet, a new exercise plan, a new relationship, a new job, that voice is going to start, wah, 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 wah. And all it's doing is barking at its old voice for all the reasons why. And the reason why it barks is because it's afraid. It's afraid of failure. It's afraid of disappointment. It's afraid of hope. It's afraid of change, right? It wants you just to be stuck in the familiar and the comfort of knowing what life is, even if that comfort is absolutely annoying, right? So remember, that voice, it wasn't built for thriving or succeeding or all that kind of stuff. It was only built for something called survival. That voice in your head that tells you you can't or you won't, not able to, is like a protective guard dog that yaps and barks at everything because it's terrified, it's afraid, it doesn't want to disappoint, it doesn't want to fail, it doesn't want to even entertain the idea of hope and change. It's going to keep yapping. That voice wants to also keep you small. It wants to keep you hidden. It wants to keep you numb. It wants to keep you from changing. So what is something that keeps someone small? Well, easy. Keep your voice low. Keep your presence away from others. Keep you barely making an impact. Staying small. It wants to keep you numb. That voice that comes and tells you can't do it, that same voice is the one that makes you overeat. It's the same voice that makes you overspend. It's the same voice that makes you do drugs. It's the same voice that makes you drink alcohol. It's the same voice that keeps you in effed up relationships. It's the same voice that keeps you in jobs you hate. It's the same voice that keeps you in cities and towns you don't want to live in. That's the voice. It wants to do that to you. And the voice is scary. It's like it's not yelling. Sometimes it's just whispering lies to you. And the whole point of it is because it wants to keep you from getting hurt. But you know what? It actually hurts you. So the intention of the voice isn't bad. It's for protection, survival. But the intentions don't mean anything. I'm telling you, some of the worst things in life are done with people with good intentions. Right? So the best metaphor I can give you about what it is that I'm talking about is the following. That voice in the head is like a GPS system that keeps rerouting you back to somewhere that is familiar. So let's break that down. You are in this car of change, this car of transformation. You're excited. Your eyes are open, your hands are on the steering wheel, you got your favorite music playing, and you get in the car and you say, I'm going to a wonderful, exciting new place. And because you've never been, what do you have to do? Trust the GPS, baby. Turn by turn directions. So you start going and you start going. You're excited. You're excited. The GPS tells you to make a right. It tells you to make a left, a U-turn, a right, a blah, 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 blah. Go down this way, break down this way, come back this way. And at the very end of it, you're like, son of a gun. I'm right in the same back place I was in the beginning. How the hell did this happen? And, you know, a couple of weeks goes by, a month goes by, a year goes by. Maybe you're just kind of, sorry, I've changed it. This is the purpose of it. You are kind of going through, and you're like, you know what? I'm getting in this car and I'm going to destination happiness. I'm going to go to a land I haven't gone to before, and I'm going to finally experience the life I want because I don't want the life I have anymore. And you get in the car and you don't know how to get there, so you put in the GPS, take me to happiness. But the GPS is that voice in the head that wants you stuck, staying in the same familiar place. So you don't even know what's happening. You're driving, favorite music's on, windows are down, the breeze is coming in. You feel like you're finally making the changes you want to make in life, going to the places you want to go in life, trusting that damn GPS. You turn right, you go down, you go there, you turn there, a couple lefts over here, a couple rights over there, a couple miles here, a couple miles there. And all of a sudden you're like, son of a gun, I'm back in the same place. Well, my friends, what if it has nothing to do with you, your motivation, your willingness, your enthusiasm, none of it? It has to do with the improper guidance and direction that the GPS, which is that voice in your head, is giving you on a day-to-day basis. What if that is the only thing that's causing you to stay stuck? So now that we got that GPS in, so there's a lot of good metaphors, barking dogs, the GPS, let's talk about how to overcome it. This is good stuff, because if you've been able to identify with the fact that we all have this voice and why it's there, so now you're like, all right, what do I do with it? So the first and foremost thing you got to do is you don't have to eliminate it. As a matter of fact, it's impossible to eliminate. Impossible. So what do? You just need to have it stop driving the damn car. Right? So what that means is when you are getting ready to get in the car and go to destination, whatever, don't put it in that damn GPS. Just drive. Like, what if I get lost? At least you won't end up in the same place. What if I go somewhere worse? At least you'll learn what took you there and avoid what did happen so you don't go there again. What if you end up somewhere beautiful? How about that? What if you completely end up somewhere different? How about that? What if you experience all these beautiful new life experiences and meet all these people you never would have met and try all these things you wouldn't have tried, face all these things you wouldn't have faced? So you just can't let it navigate the car anymore. And if it's in the car, you kind of just like, there's a lot of parents watching this. If you're a kid, if you have kids and you're on a road trip and the kids are just yapping away in the back of the car, you just kind of like, you're listening, but you're not listening, right? You're not like listening to every word they have to say. You're like, oh, interesting. Oh, cool. And you just keep going. Do that to the GPS. When you hear the voice inside your head, just be like, oh, interesting. Thank you for sharing. Just kind of keep doing what you got to do, because you want to notice it early when it starts talking. It's not you. It's just that part that's scared. That's telling you, hey, you probably shouldn't do this. It's probably not good. And then once you hear that voice and you identify it, you want to give it some type of a name. So like the prison guard, or lazy Bob, or stubborn Sue, or angry Mary, or terrified Bob, Pete, whatever it is. Mine is called Mr. Perfect. He comes in and he just says, if it's not perfect, it's not good. You don't do it. Nothing. If it's not perfect, don't even try. Blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So I just say, hey, thank you for sharing, man. I got this. Good enough is good enough. Perfect is the enemy of good enough. And, you just say, hey, thank you for trying to protect me. I appreciate what it is you're trying to do. I appreciate you trying to take me back to comfort and safety and familiarity. But you're not in charge today. I'm in charge. So then you're able to identify it, catch it early, give it a name, acknowledge it. But then you have to do this next step, and you got to take steps opposite to it. So it's kind of like it tells you to go right, you go left. It tells you to shut down, you lean in. It tells you you're not ready, don't do it. You show up anyways. You do everything the voice tells you opposite, because if you listen to it, you get everything you have right now. If you don't want the things you have right now, don't listen to it. But if you do opposite things to it, it'll give you a world that you don't have right now. And you know what? I don't know if it's good, bad, and different, but I know it's different. I don't know what that means, but I know it's different. And sometimes trying something different is okay. It's kind of like if you have the same damn food every single day, peanut butter jelly every day, which is not a bad thing to do, but peanut butter jelly every day. And one day you're like, you know what? I'm just so tired of peanut butter jelly. I'm just going to try some Thai food or some Indian food. You have no idea what it's going to be. You might absolutely dislike it and say, oh my God, what is this? I need my peanut butter jelly. Or you might say, oh my goodness, there were 1,000 different spices inside this food that I had no idea exist. And why does it taste so good? We can't listen to that part of our brain that keeps us stuck. We just can't. It keeps society down. So the goal is to be able to build a new voice. Build a new voice, not that voice. And you want to feed that part daily, because that voice is your inner leader. It's not your inner prisoner, inner prisoner. Like a prison guard, they just yap at people and tell them what to do, where to go, when they can leave the cell, when they can't leave the cell, when it's lunchtime, when it's dinner time. You don't want to be a prison guard of your own self. You want to be a leader. You go where it is you want to go. You do what it is you want to do. Is it scary? Yeah. But who told you that things aren't supposed to be scary? We're dealing with some clients right now that they just can't experience their emotions. Like when she gets sad, or he gets sad, or he gets mad, she gets mad, whatever it is, they just they can't handle it. It's too much. Because somewhere they learn that you're not supposed to feel feelings. And I don't know where we learn this in society. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been there too myself. But what's wrong with just feeling your feelings? I was working with a therapist, and I was going through some grief and loss stuff. And I'm like, hey man, like, how do you numb your feelings, dude? Like, how do you numb them? He's like, that's the thing. I don't numb them. I feel them. It's like 17 years later, I'm a therapist myself, asking a therapist how he numbs himself. And he says, no, that's the thing. I don't numb myself. I just I feel my feelings. I'm like, breakthrough. The breakthrough of a breakthrough. Allowing myself to feel, allowing myself to cry, allowing myself to go through the motions. Who would have thought? But once you feel it, Sarah, our program director, says, you got to feel it to heal it. So you got to feel this stuff. You got to feel the fear of taking a new action. You got to feel the fear of like, oh my God, what if I fail? Feel it. It's okay. I mean, how much are we going to desensitize ourselves to the experience of life? How many more fast foods, and how many more binge TV shows, and how many more drugs, and how many more toxic relationships, and how many more scrolls on the social media apps are we having to put ourselves through before we actually feel it? Before we actually tell this voice in our head, like, I'm good, man. So I did this talk with our program participants today. I said, every single one of you, when you get off this call today or the Zoom today, that voice is going to come talk. And how do I know? Because it's going to talk to me. And it's going to tell me to do things like, what to do, what not to do. I said at some point that voice is going to tell you that, hey, let me just put it on Netflix and just watch one show. It's like a drug dealer. Let me come on, just one show won't kill you. Just one show is okay. And before you know it, you're 8 hours deep. It's like the next show will start right away. And at some point, you got to tell yourself that if I sit on this couch for all these hours today, will my life change? I'll tell you this, the answer is no. And you're here because you don't want your life to be the same. I mean, if you're watching this right now and you're like, I'm trying to improve on something in life. Well, you have to see if your actions match your desired goals. And if they don't, it's because that voice inside your head is getting in the way. Tell it to shut up and go do something productive, right? So all that being said, I'm babysitting, dog sitting some multiple animals here today. So I'm a little bit on the busy side of things. Probably won't even get to pickleball today, but it's okay. I just wanted to hop on here and continue my commitment to add a little bit of value to you on your Saturday. Please forward this talk to anybody who struggles with the voice within, and hopefully it empowers them to take some contrary action today. Don't listen to the GPS, my friends. It's trying to keep you stuck. Go explore somewhere. Travel parts unknown, as Anthony Bourdain used to say. So love and appreciate all of you. See you around. Adios.